Hello everyone, Sabrina here from Scrappy Tales Crafts. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be creating two pop-up cards using some new products and this older pop-up stand die set. I'm going to be pulling in the A7 layering anchor and the captain's wheel for the main focal points on my cards, and then as a little accent I'm going to be using these Nautical hot foil banners. You can see I have a little container filled with some pre-die cut and hot foiled sentiments. Whenever I get a new collection in, I like to do all my stamping, die cutting, and hot foiling done at once, and then that whole pile will last me for quite a few cards, and I just pick and choose what I want for each project. I'm also going to pull in the new Caribbean map 6x8 stamp set. I'm going to use it as a background for my two cards today, but I do have a video where I show how to color this stamp in with the coordinating stencils and the coordinating compass scroll die. So if you want to see that, I will have it linked down below. Like I said, I'm using it as a background stamp, so I'm inking it up with frayed burlap distress oxide ink, and I'm just taking my pop-up stands and directly onto the stamp I'm just placing or pressing those down using my fingers so that that ink transfers well. And because I used a brown ink on craft cardstock, it's tone on tone, but I think it adds a nice bit of interest to the bottom. I am going to go around the edges with some vintage photo distress ink. This ink has not left my table, so I keep grabbing it. It's perfect for these masculine vintage looking cards. You can see I have 4 pop-up base stands that I die cut and stamped, so I'm going to be making 2 pop-ups, and I did cut those from heavyweight craft cardstock. And I really like how that stamping looks. It's very subtle, but adds some nice interest. So I'll just clean off my table there that had some ink on it. And then I went ahead and pre-die cut my anchors. You can see I also paper pieced the rope onto the anchors. Very simple paper piecing here. I'm keeping my video a bit shorter than normal because this is a inspiration hop, and some people do have blogs and videos, so I kept it under 15 minutes. But you can see I went ahead and scored the center of each of these anchors. I made a total of 4 the exact same way, die cut the main anchor from silver mirror cardstock, the ropes from craft, and now I'm just reinforcing that center score line that I created with my scoreboard. This isn't necessary, but if you want your cards to fold completely flat, I do think that this is helpful. But if you plan on hand delivering these cards, you can skip this step. So now I'm going to glue these anchors back to back. So I'm going to add some glue to the top left corner of one of my anchors, and then I'll take the next anchor and glue the right top side to the anchor I just added glue to. Then I will add glue to the left side of the top anchor that I just attached and add my third anchor. For my fourth anchor, I'm going to add glue to the right side anchor and to the left one, and just wedge that in between both pieces. And then you're going to create this circle of anchors. And that will go inside the pop-up stand, and it will fold completely flat. So now I'm going to construct the actual stand by reinforcing the score lines on 2 base pieces. Again, these are the same base cut twice from heavyweight craft cardstock. I'm going to add liquid glue to each end of the stand and attach them together to create one long piece, and then I'll just close each end together. You can see that I am folding those glue tabs inwards, and then you can go ahead and fold it flat to make sure that glue is nicely adhered. And you can see inside the stand there is an area for you to add a rubber band if you want this card to pop right out of the envelope. So here I have my anchors. I'm going to pick one random side, it doesn't matter. And at the very bottom of the anchor, I'm just adding a dollop of glue. You can also use a glue dot here to make sure, it attaches nicely. If you're using liquid glue, just give it a few seconds to fully dry. I'm going to do that to the front of the stand and also to the back. Then I'll just adjust any of the side anchors that might be tucked inside the stand. I want those to be outside so that it can fold flat. And that's it. Another simple pop-up. All right, so I decided to also glue together the bottom left and right side of the anchor, like where those arrows are, just to make it more secure. You definitely don't have to do this because they are attached at the top, but this will just make everything line up nicely and fold a bit easier. All right, and now here is the waving hello hot foil banner I chose. What's nice about the hot foil banner set is that there are 3 that are nautical themed and fit with the 3 large images that are meant to go with this pop-up stand. And then there are 3 regular banners that say like happy birthday, thank you. So you don't have to just use them for summer, you can use them all year round. So here's a close-up of card 1, and now we're moving on to card 2. And this time, I'm just going to do a back-to-back design. So this one's even simpler, and you might like this better. It does, again, fold flat. It's not as bulky, so you can actually mail this one, I think, in a regular envelope. I'd say the last one we did, I would do a bubble mailer because there is so much dimension. But this one is a good alternative if you want to mail these cards. So I am gluing these captain wheels back to back because I didn't have a heavyweight cardstock in this color. So these are, I think, 65-pound papers that I'm gluing back to back to make it heavier. I do suggest heavyweight cardstock with your main focal point and also your base piece. On one of these wheels, I am going to decorate it. I kind of wish I decorated both sides of this pop-up. And all the layering pieces to decorate the wheel are included in the die set. So I added a gold ring to the center. And then I wanted to add the word or the sentiment, seize the day. So what I did was I die cut it from cream cardstock. I kept the letters inside the paper, and that way I was able to line it up perfectly to the top of the wheel and to the bottom, and all the letters are spaced apart perfectly. So you can see that the D and the T on the sentiment down here did pop out, but that's fine. You can still line it up while the paper is still there. And for the most part, that's a nice little technique. Sometimes the letters will pop out, but you can just re-glue them down. So I did do 2 layers of heavyweight white cardstock for the letters, and then my final layer is gold mirror. And I do like that those letters are popped up a bit because they are so small. By doing that, they stand out a little more. The die set also includes ahoy matey and ahoy friend, so you can have that sentiment instead. And you can even go around the entire wheel and have it say, seize the day, ahoy friend. All right, so I'm also going to pull in some gold pearls. And I'm going to use them as like little screws on the wheel. There are some, I guess, little dots that are included in the die set if you want to just do this with gold mirror cardstock. But I thought the pearls would add some nice dimension. And I'm just adding them where they're already drawn into the wheel. And again, this is when I was happy that I double layered this wheel because these pearls are pretty heavy. I add quite a bit of them. So I like the way that that looks. That's going to go on the front of my base, and then the other wheel will go on the back. Again, if you want this to be more dimensional, you can just cut out 4 wheels, score them in the center, and glue them side to side exactly like we did on the anchor. And I will have an upcoming video where I show how to create a 4-sided wheel card. So I'm constructing the stand the exact same way, attaching each piece together, closing it off at the ends, and then making sure that those glue tabs are facing inwards. Folding it flat to ensure that glue is nicely adhered. And then I'll take my wheels, I'll glue one to the front. You can see I added glue to the bottom, I don't know what those are called, the bottom part of the wheel, and then also to the bottom sides. Do the same thing on the back, lining them up. And that finishes off that card. I am going to add a sentiment. This is from the, I believe, the Set Sail 6x8 stamp set. I gold heat embossed it and cut it out with its coordinating die. The die also includes these little gold starfish, so I added those next to the sentiment. You can also add the starfish to the center of the captain's wheel. I think that would be cute. So I totally forgot to mention, but this video is a part of an Instagram hop. So if you want to see some more inspiration and enter yourself to win 2 $25 gift cards to Scrappy Tales, definitely head over to my Instagram. I will have it linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.